Hello. Okay, it's working. Thanks for joining. One viewer and apparently my mom. It's actually me on my computer just making sure that it's working. Oh, there's two people. Whoa, that's crazy. Um, Ricola. Yeah. Um, so I got a bunch of these pipettes. This is like maybe 10% of them. And I kind of wanted to learn how to fix them because recently there was a pipette calibration team that calibrated all of my lab's pipettes at my university, and they said basically half of them couldn't be calibrated, which is kind of silly. And that means, we needed to spend an extra few $1,000s on pipettes. So I figure it can't be that hard to fix them. I've got this one taken apart, and each one that I take apart is kind of like a mystery box. Like we don't know what's going to be inside. Um, so that makes it really fun. But these things are really simple how they work. All it is a piston inside of a little plastic rod. This pile of ones that I'm working on right now would leak. So let me show you how a pipette should work real quick. This one works okay. So here's a pipette. This is a P1000, meaning the max volume is 1,000 microliters, which is 1 milliliter. Um, I'll try to get it in shot, but I'll draw up the liquid. This one is still working kind of weird. And then I can dispense it. So I'll tear this. I'll turn it on first. So this pipette is set to 1,000 microliters, and this is water. And so if we dispense it, we should see exactly 1,000 milligrams, because water is 1 milligram per milliliter. So 1 milliliter of water it should be 1 milligram, and you can see it's a little bit under. Most of these pipettes are a little bit under. Last time I measured with this one, I did 946 for the high volume and 98 for the low volume. So typically these P1000s, their max volume is 1,000 microliters and their minimum volume is 100 microliters. So you test the low end and the high end to do the calibration. But a lot of these are just like broken, and I'm just sort of taking them apart for fun. So anyway, this one is sort of working. You can see it's sort of sticky. It's a little bit better now, but the action is a little bit sticky on some of them. So I'll show you what that looks like on the inside. So this is sort of the body of the pipette, and this is the plunger. This goes in here, and then there's a seal that goes around here. I don't know where the seal for this one is. And then this screws on here. And so literally it's just a little syringe, but calibrated very precisely, right? Oh, there's the seal. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have a little O-ring, a little rubber O-ring. You can see that easily. And then there's a Teflon, I'm pretty sure this is Teflon, little ring, and this part is really, really important. Both of these are replaceable parts, but the calibration team that came and calibrated our pipettes, they said, you know, the plunger or this syringe assembly thing is like $100 or $200 or something like that, and it's more worth it just to get a brand new pipette. But that's pretty dumb because it's not the whole thing that's shot, right? This is the sort of inexpensive part. The springs need to be, um, exactly the right spring action. And then this plunger thing needs to be machined to a very specific dimension. And if there's a lot of pitting and corrosion on here, then yeah, of course it's going to be bad. But most of these, they're just dirty, right? So, sorry, I'm getting notifications. I'll turn off my notifications. Um, Okay, I'm back. I said, let me turn off my notifications, and I turned on airplane mode thinking that would help. Where is my do not disturb? I never use that. Do not disturb. Okay, there we go. So, like I was saying, basically this thing, they're usually just dirty because, when you're pipetting, if you're inexperienced, you tend to suck up liquid too fast and it gets inside of there and ruins things. So all I'm going to do with most of these is just clean them. But it's fun because you never know what you're going to find inside. Some of them have been, sitting and rusting in a drawer for years. And some of them, this one apparently has WD-40 inside of it. It's just like greasy. It's not supposed to be greasy like this, I don't think. And then the inside of these I've been cleaning with these little bottle brushes. That works really well. So I'll put this back on, screw it on. So I've been using pipettes for 4 years now. Um, it's a pretty pivotal tool for the work that I do. And I tend to, do my own car work. Like if something breaks around the house, I try to fix it. But I've always been afraid of working on pipettes, thinking it's like some special thing, some magical thing that only certain people can work on. But it's really easy. Ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, I would love to have an ultrasonic bath, but they sound awful. But I do want to get one still. Um, so this pipette, you can see, um, yeah, basically, okay, pushing down the plunger. I want to get this in a shot. It's too tall. Okay, whatever. When I push down the plunger is down. I draw up the plunger, and there's no liquid in there. It's not drawing anything up. So that's what's wrong with this one. And so this is the little ejector that ejects the tip off. This is actually really fun. Watch this. If you're not familiar with pipettes, this is the best part. They can just eject it off. It's always really fun. But this is just a little plastic indentation. There it is. It's a black piece, so it's hard to get on camera. But it's just, it's a dovetail joint, right? That comes right off. That's easy. This unscrews. And so the little, this isn't drawing up any liquid. And the plunger keeps falling, or the O-ring keeps falling off. So I think there's, oh, and now it's back on. I think there's grease in there that's not supposed to be in there. If somebody knows more about this, let me know. So what I've been doing with these tubes is just spraying a little bit of, this is just what I have around. I don't think the solvent matters too much, but this is 70% ethanol in water. Just do a little bit of this. Maybe soapy water would be better. Probably. Oh, flick it out a little bit. Let it dry. Clean this again. I'll put this back together. But yeah, like all of this is really, really easy to work on. Like if a small part breaks, it's really easy to fix. And most of the parts are pretty cheap. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's WD-40 in this one. That sounds like something I would do. This looks like a pipette that I've used before. So don't put WD-40 in your pipettes. Let's see if it's any better. Oh, need a tip. Yeah, nothing. This one's messed up. Let's move on and try something else. So this one I marked and it says that it leaks. We're just working with P1000s right now. I don't think I can calibrate P10s or P20s with my scale. So this draws up liquid, right? You see it dripping? I'm not pressing the plunger, it's just so slowly dripping out. So that means the seal inside of here somewhere is not good enough. So again, really, really easy to take apart. You just slide this to the side. That comes out. Oh, that's dirty. Swap the O-ring to the last one. Swap the O-ring to the last one. How do I go back to the chat? There we go. Okay. Oh, this O-ring to the last pipette. Yeah, that's the other cool thing is I have like 10 I have like 10 of these P1000s, and so I can, you know, take all of the best parts and put them all on the same thing. I have 2 pipettes that are just missing this piece. So, you know, if they're in calibration, then I can just take these off of the worst pipettes. So really right now, I'm mainly just trying to do the easy fixes and diagnose everything. So I have a sort of inventory of you know, what parts are good and what parts are bad. And then I can do like a bulk order of, you know, the Teflon seals and the O-rings and whatever. But anyway, this one's cool. This one's really crusty on the tip. And see that? Try to get it off best I can. Yeah, and I can feel the crust and the pitting too. But just this wet paper towel is getting most of it off. I have some 2000 grit sandpaper that I might use if we have a particularly rusty pipette, but I think this is good enough. And the plunger doesn't even slide on this very tip part. I think it just slides, I think it's just like this distance that needs to be really clean. So this is going to be satisfying because I think this one is going to be, you know, just clean it, put it back together, and it starts working again. I'll take off the O-ring here. That looks pretty good, honestly. There's a little bit of crud on the inside here. I'll put this back on. Just like that. And then I want to clean. Ooh, crusty. Oh, somebody screwed tape into there somehow. I don't know how or why. So there's a little bit of a hole on the end here, obviously, so I just cover that when I spray the ethanol in. Oh, she's a squirter. Sorry. Oh. If you're gonna do this at home, one viewer, probably should wear gloves. Okay. It's crusty in the bottom there. We'll let this dry for a second. Leave that there and take apart the next one. There we go. This one I put in the pile of leaky boys. So this one probably is going to be crusty as well. This comes apart just like that. Let's see. Where's the live chat? Evapo rust. I don't have cool pipettes. I don't have cool pipettes either. You want to see my pipette? These are ones that I took from the lab and I'm fixing. This is my pipette. It's aerospace grade Chinesium. The increments are in 5 microliters. I think this was like $30 I've got a turkey baster and a meat syringe. You know, I need to count my blessings sometimes. At least I have something. But the one that I just showed is it's just like a $30 pipette, and I want to make a video detailing, how to fix these pipettes because these are like $50 on eBay. So I think, you know, people should just be buying the nice Gilson pipettes and using them and fixing them for cheap rather than buying what I bought, which is the Chinesium, really crappy pipettes that come from the factory pretty broken. Um, okay, so there is that, and this one looks beautiful. I don't know why this one was leaking. It's not good. The inside of here looks like brand new. That's weird. Okay, well, we'll clean it out either way. Maybe there was some grease or something in there. Somebody was pipetting glycerol or something. All right, that one's clean. Oops. If anybody is confused or new to the stream, just drop a comment and I can catch you up. All right, so this one is clean, hopefully. We'll let this one dry as well. Now we can move back to this old one. So this should just be able to go in. And then there we go. Screw that together. The action feels good. So I'll reattach this one. Again, this is just a little dovetail joint, so that's pretty cool. It just snaps in. So we'll see if this one leaks still. So again, I can't, the video's wide, so I can't get the whole thing in there, but I'm gonna go into the liquid. Plunger is down. I'm gonna pull the plunger up, and she's still leaking. So I think this one needs probably a new O-ring or a new Teflon seal. But here, look, these components are really small, and like, I'm sure they're pennies to buy, like a pack of 10 of them, right? Like, it's just this little, plastic piece that's failing. Or maybe this O-ring isn't making a good seal, but I think it's the plastic piece. And the plastic piece needs to sit really tight on this, and I don't think it's sitting tight enough. So this should be mostly dry now. Put that together. Put that in. Alright. Put this back on. And we'll see if it leaks still. Alright, plunger is down, going into the liquid. It's not leaking. Woohoo! Okay, we fixed one at least. So one cool thing you can do with pipettes is something called reverse pipetting. So when you have a pipette, there's two stops. So this is the first stop, right? And then you feel like some resistance, but you can keep going. And then there's a second stop. So there's the first stop, second stop, first stop, second stop. This is set to 1,000. So first stop, second stop, all the way up. First stop, second stop, right? So if you go down to the first stop, then to the second stop, then go into the liquid, draw up, of course, slowly. You don't want to slam it open. Now you have more than 1 milliliter. So this is set to 1 milliliter. But when you eject down to the first stop so that you theoretically should eject exactly 1 milliliter. So let's try to calibrate this. So we'll turn on this micro balance. I think I'll have to shade it from the light if you want to see it. So I'll go to the second stop, draw up the liquid. Oops, my arm was in the way. And I'll go into this. This is not a good way to do this, but it's what I've got. So I'll put that in there. And I don't know if you can see the number, but it says 957. So again, water is 1 milligram per milliliter, or just about. And we're getting 957 milligrams. So, you know, we're 43% off, 44% off. So 956, let's remember that number. Now I'm going to set the pipette to the lowest reading, and we're going to see what volume we get then. All right, so 956 is the high reading. So we'll tare that. I'll get a small volume. So this is the lowest volume, 100 microliters. We'll measure that. And we get 92. So then we need to write that down. 956 and 93. 956 and 93. So some of these pipettes are in this zone that's bad, where when you set it to the highest reading, you get less than you expect, but when you set it to the lowest reading, you get more than you expect. And I think those you can't really calibrate, but this one is low on both. This is 956 and 93, so I think you can adjust something in here. I need to get to the calibration part, but right now I'm just sort of diagnosing all these pipettes. But this one is low on both readings, and that means it's probably salvageable. Whereas, like this one, I think this is almost within spec. I got 990 on the high reading and 106 on the low reading. So it's almost within spec. I think 992 and then 102 would have been within spec. So, you know, it depends on if you need it perfect or not. This one is definitely within spec. The low reading may not be, but 996 and 104, you know, that's pretty good. So let's see if we have any ejectors in this goodie bag. That's a small one. That's for a good one. So 987. This one is 991. 991 and 98. So this one is basically within spec. Let's see if this ejector works. No, this is the wrong side. Okay, so let's steal from the leaky one. So this one leaks and I don't know how to fix it. So I'll try to get replacement parts for it later, but for now, I'm gonna add it to this one so that we can say that we fixed one completely. So, no! Oh man, that sucks. Okay. Thanks for the content. Of course, it's my job. Not actually, but I'm putting it on myself. So the actual little dovetail that's supposed to be there is broken, and so this piece can't fit on there. So what I'm gonna do, since I know like the plunger and everything is good in this one, is I'm gonna take out this and put it on the leaky boy. I'm gonna take, this is basically the functioning part of the pipette. This just sets the volume. Nothing much happens there. So this part is bad because of the ejector being broken, and this part is good because of the calibration. This one, the ejector is fine. It still has the black piece. So I'm gonna take out the broken piston and put in the good piston. And now we can say that this one has an ejector problem and it leaks. But now this one should be good. And we can slip on the ejector. So that's one good pipette. That's the first one I've put together fully. Let's calibrate it again just for fun. Make sure it's within spec. So the action is really good. It's set to 1 milliliter. And I'm using my left hand, so forgive me if I look stupid. So we'll tear this. Draw up the liquid. That's in there now. Yes, there's a little bit of liquid in there still because I'm doing reverse pipetting. So this time I did it, it says 979. Let's do it again. All right. $9.83. It's not that bad. It's not amazing though. Let's get a new tip. Let's see. Someone said, "Hi, Miranda." Who is Miranda? Oh, Miranda is the first person. Miranda's learning land. Hello. What are you doing that requires that accuracy? So these pipettes I use in my university lab, and we do molecular biology. I don't think it needs to be, within 5 micro, like for the P1000s, I don't think they need to be within 5 microliters. Like the error doesn't need to be anything less than 5 microliters, I don't think, but it's probably good to have them as accurate as possible. Yeah. If you need 100 microliters and you get 106 microliters, it's not going to be the end of the world, but there's a chance your experiment doesn't work as well, or you get inconsistencies, right? If you're growing bacteria or yeast, and you inoculate with what you think is 10 microliters, but you actually inoculate with 12 microliters, then you're going to get very different growth than you expect. And then for PCR, polymerase chain reaction, if you're trying to amplify some DNA, you need to be pretty precise with that. But honestly, these are probably fine. I'm not really sure what exact accuracy we need. So anyway, this one's probably good enough. What's wrong with this one? This one has the ejector thinger broken. So we'll swap those parts over too. So this one is just really messed up now. The ejector thing is broken and it leaks. And we're gonna do the same with this one. So let's write down that this has a leak. Leaks. And we're also going to say now that it has an ejector issue because we're going to swap these parts. So this piston is relatively good. That's good. Oh, I did this backwards. Hold on. This needs to be over here. This needs to be over here. Right? Oh, I did the cup game. Okay, this one had the ejector. The good ejector. So this needs to be over here. This one is good. This can go on here. So the ejector works. All right. Is it leaking? Oh, is this the leaky one? No way. Is this the good one? Oh no, this one is really bad. This one doesn't even draw up liquid. So this one is definitely bad. This can go in here. These are the really messed up ones. I think this one leaks too though. That sucks. Oh, maybe not. Oh. No, it definitely leaks, but it's really slow. Let's take it apart and see what's going on. Maybe I didn't clean this one yet. I don't think I did. I think I just calibrated this one. Yeah, the fucking Teflon thing, sorry. The Teflon thing just falls off on some of these. Come on out, little buddy. That's not gonna work. There we go. I think this seal around the metal ends up wearing down. Yeah, see how loose that is? There's so much play. I think this one needs a new seal. So this will go into the leak pile, unfortunately. Let's keep track of that. Leaks. Not like the produce. All right. Go in the parts pile. I'm gonna grab some water. All right. Let's see what I want to look at next. We can start looking at these P200s. So the 200 microliter or the P200 pipette, same idea, but most of them are 20 to 200 microliters. So let's see what these pistons look like, because I haven't seen them before. Okay. So exact same idea. You have this metal rod, and then you have this Teflon piece that is firmly on the rod, and the rod needs to be free of debris and pitting from rust. So this one looks fine. Let's go in here. The issue with this one is that it's missing the ejector. So maybe if the calibration is good, then That's the only issue. So I'll get a tip. Now we're using these P200 tips. They're much smaller. We'll get some liquid and weigh it. Get the last drop. 199, that's good. Okay, so this one is fine. The issue here though is I need to measure 20 milligrams, and because that's the lowest setting, so you need to measure the highest and the lowest setting, and I don't think I can measure 20 milligrams with this pipette, but I'm gonna try. So I'll tear this and add 20 milligrams or 20 microliters. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, I don't know if I trust the accuracy of this scale that much, but 23 should be fine. Should be fine. So this one I'm going to say is good, but it's missing the ejector. So let's see if we can find an ejector in this bag of parts. Is this a good one? Oh no, this ejector is broken. It's got a bit snapped off the tip, so it's trash. Let's see if any of these fit. This one I feel like was bent, probably by me. That does not fit. That is not made to fit that. Not this one. Nope. It's also for a small pipette. That one doesn't work. Alright. Now, we give up. We go to the next one. And maybe one of our other P200s will have a very bad piston. And then we can steal the ejector from it. Thanks to the viewer who is here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Alright, take the ejector off. We'll check this piston and see how it looks, and then we'll calibrate it. So this piston slides much more easily, which makes me think it may be a leaker, or it may just not be in calibration. So let's find out. So first, as always, we'll measure 200 microliters first. And we'll turn this on. $198. Very cool. Yeah, I can feel a little bit of like stiction when I'm operating it, and maybe it's from that, you know, Teflon seal that's sort of slipping off. But anyway, we'll measure 20 microliters and see how that is. Also doesn't spin super freely and feels a little bit crunchy, but we'll try 20. I forgot to tear it. Let's try it again. $20 dead on. Oh, you can't see. It's 20 dead on, I promise. So, well, it says 21 now, but whatever. It's so crunchy near the bottom, though. I don't know what that is. It could be the spring, but it's fine. It works. It works really well. Slide this back on. And this one we'll say is good. That's a good pipette. It's clean. and it works. Nice. Next one. Here's another P200. It's got a little bit of sticky crap on it. These are autoclavable, which is pretty crazy. You can heat them to 121 Celsius and, 2 atmospheres. All right, let's take it apart. Ooh, this spring feels really weak. I don't know if that's by design. And this seal feels really loose. So we'll see if it performs. Tighten that up. Put the ejector tip back. We'll measure 200 microliters. Turn that on. Yeah, the plunger is really loosey-goosey. Goosey-loosey. 196. 196. I don't really trust this scale very much. But, 2% error. If the scale is right, 2% error is not that bad. Really, I should be doing each of these measurements in triplicate, meaning 3 replicates, so measure each volume separately 3 times. But as they say, ain't nobody got time for that. $20. Dead on. 20. So the upper range may be a little bit off, but the lower range seems good. We're going to call that a win. I think this pipette is good as well. I mean, maybe it's just that I can't, measure as accurately, but no, that's not the case, because the P1000s, I think the P1000s are just worse. Or the condition of them is worse, or when they fail more drastically, because these that I've been testing are only like 2% off max, and the P1000s were 4% off. Yeah, 4% off. Here's the next pipette. Didn't break it. Good job. Ooh, this one is good. Nice and crusty. Hope you can see that well. So to start, I'll just take this damp cloth. Seal actually fits really nicely, but there's clearly somebody drew up some liquid in this. It needs to be cleaned. Oh wow. Yeah, it was just somebody had slurped up some media or something like that, and now that's fixed. There's a little bit of crud on the O-ring too. I'll give that a wipe. Oh, but that's already 90% better. Clean up the inside here. It's not even that bad in there. Alright. That goes in. This goes in. Turn that on. So I just got the water from there. I'm gonna put this in here. Ooh, that doesn't seem right. Let's try that again. Is it leaking? Tear this. I think it might be leaking, maybe. Yep. so I can shake it and the water falls out. So this one has a leaky piston. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's leaking. I promise. So this one I'll leave a note on it. See that it leaks. And I'll try to find where I can buy a seal for it. That. And this means that we can take the ejector, steal the ejector from this one, and put it on this one that we know works. So we still have 3 good P200s now. That's great. Ooh, this one's really messed up. This one's actually broken. The tip is broken here. So I'll write on this one also that it needs a new ejector. Let's take this one apart and see how the plunger inside looks. Gotta take off the ejector. Welcome to the live stream if you're new. I'm just taking apart pipettes and trying to fix them. It's kind of cool. This is not a P200. This is actually a P20. So it since the tip was broken, I couldn't tell the difference. So this one has an incredibly tiny plunger. Look at that. It's so small compared to the P1000 or the P200. And this is pretty solid on the shaft. The shaft looks pretty clean. The O-ring looks fine. It's just broken on the tip. So I can't even test it. I can't even test it because it's so broken. So I'm going to leave this to the side for now and move on to the next P200. This P200 has a bent tip. Look at that. It's got a curve to it. Oh, it's about to break off. This one should be put out of its misery. Do I have the tips of the tips? No. Alright, so we'll just salvage the parts out of these, I guess, for now. So we got 2 P20 ejectors and 2 P20 pistons. So this is broken. Pistons are good. The pistons, I think, are most of the value of the pipette. So we can order more of those tips if we need to. And these bodies are good too. I think those tend to break pretty often, which is sad. Alright, so we have 2 more P20s. Sorry, the chair's so squeaky. This one looks fine. Piston looks okay. A little bit of crud on the very tip. Check the calibration. I'm not going to be able to measure 2 microliters. That's the issue. I need to take these back into the lab to properly test their calibration, but at least we can check if they leak. I don't think it's worth even weighing it, but we can check if they leak. So I'll just drop water from here so you can see it. I think this one's good. It's not leaking. Okay. So this one probably good. It's official. Take this one apart too. One looks fine. Piston looks clean. Yeah, I guess the smaller ones you can't really draw up evil liquid just because you're drawing up such a small volume. Like, you're not going to draw up something nasty. Yeah, this one doesn't leak either. And the ejector works. So this one is probably good as well. Let's see what these really tiny P10s are like. I really like these P10s. 1 to 10 microliters is just a really convenient volume. If you're doing molecular biology work like cloning or PCR or things like that, super useful. Let's see what these look like. I've not taken apart one of these before either. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah, that's tiny. This one's actually pretty dirty. The O-ring's pretty loose. The Teflon seal. Yeah, that's small. The Teflon seal has like extra plastic on the side of it. That looks like from the factory though. Interesting. Alright, we'll put this back together and test it. But again, you know, this is such a small volume. My little cheap Jeff Bezos scale isn't going to cut it. And for these really tiny ones, we need to use the P10 tips. Oh, this one's broken. See the tip of this one? That's broken. Is this one broken? Is it broken? Yeah, that's definitely broken. What's up with this one? Oh, it's missing the, it can't eject this size tip. But it can eject the bigger size tip. Okay, whatever. Okay. Alright, not sure what to do about these yet. I'm just going to set them to the side. But one of them is definitely broken. I don't have spare parts for it, so I'm going to have to order that probably. Let's take apart, before we finish, I want to take apart a few different brands real quick. So I have all of these. This one looks like a Gilson. It looks identical to a Gilson. They even use the same color. Look. Isn't that crazy? But it's Rainin. I don't think Rainin is super high end, but it feels heavier than a Gilson. Piston assembly looks identical. Maybe it's just a rebrand or something. If anything, the piston assembly seems nicer. The Teflon seal is closer to the rod. And it feels like it fits a little more snug. It uses a different ejector style. And this one is missing the ejector. I don't know what the ejector looks like or where to get it. And this is also a P200, but it only goes down to 20 microliters, which is just annoying. So, see if it leaks. No leaks. Let's see what volume it dispenses. Get any liquid off the side. 198, 200. This one is really in calibration. It's just missing the ejector, which is really annoying. So, I don't know. It's good. It's good. That design is really good. I like the rain in pipettes. This is a very, very old one, probably from the 70s. It says AG on there. For silver, I guess. I don't know why. It's missing the ejector mechanism. No clue where that is. And I don't know how to take it apart. That's a really pretty design. Watch this. That's cool. I really like that for some reason. This is very clicky as well. That's nice. Very, very nice. It's pretty light. Oh, this is Thermo Scientific brand, by the way. This is just like an antique. Oh, the action is so smooth. Is that supposed to be 200? Let's see. It's pretty far off. For a P200, that's pretty bad. 194. That's the worst P200 accuracy I've seen. But you know, this thing is so old. I'm sure the piston is bad in here. This one's probably trash, but it's cool. And then here's an Eppendorf one. I've got a few of these as well. The sort of plastic tip wears down at the end, which is really dumb. The ejector mechanism works. It feels a little bit sticky. It's fine. This is a 20 microliter pipette, so we're not going to get very good calibration. Yeah, I don't really have a way to tell if that's accurate. And I don't know how to take these apart. But the clicky it's kind of nice at first, but I've worked with one of these for a while now, and I don't really like them as much as the Gilson, honestly. Something about it. Yeah, I have no clue how to take this apart. I like the Gilsons the best. They're pretty affordable. If you're gonna get a pipette, I would get a pipette from eBay and get just a Gilson brand one that says it's calibrated, used. They're like $50. You can get brand new, really crappy ones for the same price, but it's not worth it. I think the Gilson branded ones are a better idea. So anyway, my voice is going now, so I'm gonna pause there. Thanks for watching. I'll probably upload this as a video if anybody wants to see it later. I want to make a more serious video about calibrating pipettes, but we'll see where it goes. We'll call this a workshop, right? So anyway, thanks for watching. Happy Sunday. Bye. Let me figure out how to close this. Cheers.